at the GSO office of Alcoholics Anonymous India, and it's been about an hour since Satyamev Jayate aired, and the title of the show today was about alcoholism, and they featured two members of Alcoholics Anonymous on the show, and ever since the show began, within the first 20 minutes, we're told that they received about how many calls?
Almost 8,600 calls.
Almost 8,600 calls, and Satyamev Jayate is going to be aired for about 27 times in the coming week in 8 different languages. So they're expecting the calls to keep flowing in throughout the week. So we're just here to talk to them about how they're going to handle the onset of calls, and let's just get their first reaction on the show.
It has been absolutely unbelievable. In fact, in our history of last 50 odd years of Alcoholics Anonymous in India, we have never had this kind of an overwhelming response. We had anticipated that there will be a lot of flow of information and a lot of flow of inquiry, but this is something way beyond our preparations. We had taken 75 lines to support our helpline number across the country, but within the first half an hour, most of these lines were flooded, and now we are getting huge quantities of missed calls registered on our system. But fortunately, we have devised a system wherein we are taking every missed call and passing it on to our volunteers, and our volunteers are in turn now calling up these people and giving them the information about Alcoholics Anonymous across India.
And what kind of calls are you getting? What kind of questions are people asking?
Yeah, actually now what we are doing is, I'll tell you a little bit of how the rest of the India was geared up.
Okay.
Because you see, this call is going to come in 8 different languages.
Right.
So we cannot come to know on what language to answer. So we put up 8 different regional call centers, and we got a phone number which goes into an IVR. So the calling person gets a choice of language, and once he chooses that language, that call is automatically transferred to that regional volunteer. So by this way, we try to work out a way where every caller gets response in his language which he is comfortable on. Now, with respect to the calls coming in, we are trying to be as urgent as possible, the help required, that we are taking down their numbers, and then we are calling them back, because these are mostly calls by families, and they want to know how it can be helped, how the person can be helped, where it can be done. But since we expect a peak time of another 2-3 hours, and then it is going to subside, so we are calling them back, taking down their numbers, and that's what is going on. Apart from this, the SMS 4 times A space your name to 56363 has been flashed, because that is where we can take in a huge number of SMS without even somebody answering. So I think we have crossed more than 10,000 SMSs as of now, and these SMS calls are again listed out area wise. We know from which area they come across, and then we are distributing it back again for recalling and then passing on them further information. In fact, our website has crashed, and the mail ID, I would like to get the figures. The mail ID, emails, whatever we are receiving, are all coming in from various different people, professionals, wanting to help A, wanting to know more about A. So I think in another hour or so, or maybe by today evening, is when we will be able to sum up the entirety of the situation. As of now, the total inputs has been more than 20,000. Calls, SMS, emails, all put together, and it's still going on.
Can you just take us through what exactly happens? If say I am from Delhi and I call up A, what are the steps that go on after that?
Well, like my friend mentioned here, you will be put through onto the IVR, and if you are from Delhi, probably your language of choice will be Hindi. So you will press 1 for Hindi. If you press 1, your call will be transferred to our Delhi office. There are about 60 odd members sitting there, ready to receive your calls and to capture your data. We know that we will not be able to answer your entire query in such short time. So right now the entire focus is on data capture. We want to know who the prospect is, what profession, if you have an email ID, what is your address, what is the nearest possible help available to you. So we first want to capture that data. So subsequently, subsequently, even though this period is over, we will be able to get in touch with you. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but within the week, 10 days, we will be able to contact you, we will be able to mail you the literature, we will be able to guide you on which is your nearest AA meeting available to you. If you require any further help, we will be able to give you some numbers of local people where you can call up and get immediate help.
What about places where there are no AA meetings happening?
Well, unfortunately, there are large parts in India where AA is not there. The focus here right now is in AA, we believe that only the strong can help the weak. Wherever AA is already reached, it is their responsibility to carry the message to those parts where AA is not reached. So firstly, we will capture the data from states like Assam, Orissa, Uttar Pradesh, Meghalaya, all these places. We will capture this data. We will send them an introductory literature about how AA works. In addition to this, we will be making teams of our volunteers who will go and help them start AA meetings over there in their regions. This way, with the help of local professionals, local doctors, we should be able to put together some acts in underrepresented areas also.
Can you just tell us a little bit about what being a member of AA involves? What are the steps? What can a person expect once he joins AA? And is there any fees or any kind of money that has to be paid?
Yes. Well, as we always say, all AA help is free, and whatever cost goes towards these kind of exercises, like you're saying, volunteers and telephone coming in and everything, that is contributed by the AA members themselves. So this is the money part. In fact, Alcoholics Anonymous doesn't take any monetary help from outside, any government aid or agency. We simply need all your support. Now, when an AA person wants to become an AA member, the ideal situation is that he has a drinking problem. Nobody else would land up in AA. So with his problem, when he comes to an AA meeting and he gets an identification, I can tell about myself. When I first came into an AA meeting and I saw people like me, same experiences, but they were not drinking. So I got motivated that if they have the same love for alcohol, the same craving, the compelling desire, and if they can stop, even I can. So that was the first little motivation I got from an AA meeting. Nobody asked me any questions about it. Where do I come from? How much I drank? What was my status? Etc. etc. Nothing was asked. Only I was supposed to listen and hear their stories, and slowly, as soon as I got motivated, I started with the first concept of one day at a time. It was one day I planned to stay sober, called up help from AA members if I had an obsession kind of thing, and they helped me with their sharings, of course. And this is how it all started. So this is the same way Alcoholics Anonymous functions. It has got a very non-professional approach. It is a self-help group, basically depending on the 12 steps of recovery, wherein the practice of the steps brings about a change in me where I can stay stopped.
See, like Dr. Ashish Deshpande said on the show itself, alcoholic is faced with two kinds of problems. One is stopping drinking and the second is staying stopped. Every alcoholic who's faced some sort of a problem with alcohol has tried giving it up based on his willpower. But the problem is, after some time he starts drinking again. He cannot resist the temptation of alcohol. So AA's role principally is in staying stopped. You may stop your drinking by taking any medical help, or you can lock yourself at your home and not drink or whatever. But the problem is not to restart again. That's where AA comes into picture. When there is a fellowship and there is a spiritual program, and we all of us are together with the basic aim to not to drink ever again. Okay, so that gives us a lot of courage, support, help. Till now, the outside world never understood why I was drinking like this. So they always accused me of being irresponsible, of not conforming to the society norms. And I was always on the defensive. But when I come into AA, I don't have to be defensive. Everybody is like me. So they understand me, they welcome me, and they make me a part of their own society. When in outside the world I had become a loner, here suddenly I find a new society. So I find a new purpose, new way of living. And things happen. Earlier, what seemed like the most difficult thing for me to do happens very easily in Alcoholics Anonymous.